from India, to all the distinguished guests, speakers, participants, team bishops, both ashore and afloat, seafarers, seafarers associations. We have CMMI, IMEI, Mariners Society, and various other seafarers association, the Maritime Union, NUSI, MUI, my fellow Nautical Institute members from all across the globe, as well as our Indian branches. Thank you all for acknowledging our invitation and coming on this event. I take this opportunity on behalf of the Nautical Institute to welcome you to this event of the Nautical Institute's Certificate of Appreciation to V-Ships. Just for the sake of new joiners, I would just quickly give you a brief of what the Nautical Institute have been doing with this campaign. You know, somewhere mid-March, when everything was coming to a standstill, when this world was shutting down, and many of the industries were going through a lot of challenges, uh, we found that the shipping as well as the seafarers were being affected. But at that time, there were a few people and a few organizations who opened up their own gateway for the cause of the seafarers, especially seafarers' welfare in specific with regard to the sign-on and sign-off of seafarers, which was a very critical operation. So the Nautical Institute Southwest branch, with the support of the Nautical Institute London, we wanted to recognize and appreciate all those people who are taking those steps for the seafarers' welfare. We started with a small event by recognizing Dr. Beena and Captain Joseph Alapart, the Deputy Conservator of Cochin Port Trust. In the month of July, we went over and gave a certificate of appreciation. And then we went over to the Port Health Office, Dr. Shamiani, who's the Port Health Officer at Cochin Port. But the response that we got, and then it reminded us of our duty as a seafarer or a maritime professional organization of Nautical Institute. So we just continued doing our duty in recognizing and appreciating all those people who were in this cause, who took that extra mile towards the cause of seafarers' welfare. Yes, we wanted to appreciate all the seafarers if we could do it, but as you know, the logistic wouldn't let us do it. So we choose instead organizations where the seafarers are attached with and recognize the seafarers and the ship owners and the shipping companies, who are the main players during this pandemic in helping the cause of the seafarers. So we choose such people and organization and have been awarding this certificate of appreciation. Today here we are on our event number 11, appreciating the V Group and V Ships. So that has been just a brief history of our campaign, which started in mid-July. We are almost 10 to 12 weeks into our campaign. I would say today, looking at the people that I have speaking on this event, I would say today is an event of trendsetters. I can see a lot of trendsetters in today's event, as well as people who are in the maritime industry yet do something beyond maritime. So today I would call it as an event of trendsetters and people who do things beyond just maritime. So let me just share my screen, Jillian, just before I start this event. Okay, Amit, can you see my screen?
Not yet.
What about now?
No, we still see you.
Okay. Okay, not an issue. I will just say that, just as I mentioned, there are people connected across this event from all across the globe, including at sea, from various parts of the world. And we have committed to the audience today that we will also keep this event on time. So just to help us keep the event on time, we have muted all of you. And to help us with the bandwidth issues, we might request you to also turn off your cameras when the speakers speak. So let me start off. As I mentioned, today is an event of trendsetters, and I have a trendsetter with me who set up the Nautical Institute Southwest branch in Cochin. He was instrumental in setting up our branch in 2015. We are almost 5 years old now as a branch. He was also instrumental in setting up Expedo Canada Cochin office. And let me tell you, if you ever go to an event and you have a group of people and who are a little shy to get along, being a first time, he's the right person to be on the event because he's a trendsetter. He will set you all and get you all together. Let me invite Captain Joske Thomas, our founder, chairman of the Nautical Institute Southwest Branch, FNI, to welcome the distinguished guest. Over to you, Captain Thomas.
Thank you, Vinod, for the kind words of introduction. Good day to all who are tuned into this program. And it is my pleasure and privilege to introduce the guests for today's show. First, we have Ms. Jillian Carson Jackson, President, Nautical Institute, London. Ms. Jillian Carson Jackson, FNI, Fellow of the Royal Institute of Navigation, commenced her career in the Canadian Coast Guard, graduating from the Canadian Coast Guard College as a navigation officer. With over 3 decades in the industry, Jillian has worked both afloat and ashore in the Canadian Coast Guard, including 10 years as an instructor at the Coast Guard College. Following an active role at IALA in the development of VTS training, she moved to France to work with IALA as Technical Coordination Manager. She then moved to Australia to work with the Australian Maritime Safety Authority, AMSA, as Manager of Vessel Traffic and Pilotage Services. In 2016, Jillian left AMSA to set up her own consultancy, focusing on maritime technical advice and education. In May 2020, Jillian was appointed a Director of Global Met. Jillian represents the Nautical Institute at IALA as Chair of the ENAB Committee and Personnel and Training Working Group. Ms. Jillian is the first ever Lady President of the Nautical Institute and an active yoga practitioner. This is evident from the cheer and goodwill that Jillian always radiates, despite it being well past dinner time in Canberra, where she is settled now. Let us extend a warm welcome to Ms. Jillian to the program. We have with us Captain Nick Nash, FNI, FRIN, CMMR, FRGS. Captain Nick Nash is a senior master with Princess Cruises, presently taking over their newest ship, Enchanted Princess, a 144,000 GRT ultra-luxurious cruise vessel. You will naturally expect a cruise ship captain to be in a sparkling uniform with all the golden regalia, but you can see him in his coveralls now because the ship is just getting delivered in Italy. We'll hear more from him soon. Captain Nick is the immediate past president of the Nautical Institute London and remains an active member of the Nautical Institute Council. Earlier, he served as vice president and senior vice president. Nick is the author of definitive ship handling book on maneuvering large passenger ships. He has contributed numerous papers for the Nautical Institute Seaways magazine on bridge resource management, electronic navigation, and navigation practices. Captain Nash was awarded the prestigious UK's Merchant Navy Medal in 2018. He is a chartered master mariner and a fellow of the Royal Institute of Navigation and fellow of the Royal Geographical Society. When not at sea, Nick lives in Cornwall in southwest England and enjoys driving his narrow boat along the canals of England and Europe. Let's extend a warm welcome to Captain Nick Nash. It's my privilege to welcome Chief Engineer Mr. Manukamuthasamy, who graduated from the Madras University in Mechanical Engineering and commenced his sea career in 1995 after completing Graduate Marine Engineer Induction Program from AMET, Chennai. He was promoted to Chief Engineer in Warships in 2004. His short assignment began as fleet superintendent with V Group in 2007, rising to become the managing director. He is currently heading the ship management division of V Ships in India. He is also in charge of running a center of excellence for V Group based at Chennai, supporting various foundations such as ship management, marine services, performance management, digital support services, procurement, accounts, etc. V Ships currently manages over 600 vessels globally. The India office manages 34 vessels from Chennai. Mr. Manukamuthasamy also part of various technical committees run by classification societies. The Nautical Institute extends a warm welcome to Mr. Manukamuthasamy, MD, V Ships India. We have with us Captain Venkatesh Gautam, Operations Director, V Ships India Private Limited. Captain Venkatesh sailed as master for 6 years, mostly on crude, product, and chemical tankers. He stepped ashore in early 2007 as Superintendent, Safety, Quality, and Marine Operations with Celandia Ship Management. He was closely involved in setting up safety and quality procedures for the company, besides leading various key projects and takeover of new-build vessels from the yard. He is a qualified IRCA certified lead auditor. For the last 3 years, Captain Venkatesh is a director of crewing operations in India for Celandia and later V Ships under the V Group umbrella based out of Mumbai. His key responsibilities and current role include the overall functioning and service delivery of the crewing operations out of India and other locations in the Indian subcontinent. The Nautical Institute extends a warm welcome to Captain Venkatesh. We have with us Captain Rajesh Tandon, Fellow of the Nautical Institute, Fellow of the Company of Master Mariners of India. Captain Rajesh Tandon is an alumnus of Training Ship Rajendra, 1973-75 batch, and started his career with the Shipping Corporation of India, rising to the rank of Master in 1983. He joined V Ships in 1988 and came ashore in 1991 as V Ships President Representative in India. He was responsible for the setting up of the V Ships offices in India in 1997 and served as Managing Director till 2017. Captain Tandon currently serves as Global Director, Industrial Relations and Seafarer Development for V Group Manpower Services. On the occasion of National Maritime Day in 2018, he was conferred with the prestigious Varna Award, the highest award for the maritime industry in India. The Nautical Institute members will be pleased to hear that Captain Tandon was part of the executive committee that set up the first Nautical Institute branch in India way back at Mumbai in 1993. He is a fellow of the Nautical Institute, as I mentioned before, and plays an active role in all maritime-related activities. Captain Tandon holds several honorary positions in the maritime industry, some of which are Director and immediate past chairman of the International Maritime Employers Council, IMEC. During his tenure as chairman from 2014-19, he participated as a member of the shipowners delegation to the ILO deliberations in Geneva. He continues to lead the IMEC Global Seafarer Wages Negotiating Team. Member, Board of Trustees, Seafarers Provident Fund Organization, and Welfare Trust for Indian Officers and Ratings. The director and past chairman of FOSMA, Foreign Ship Managers Association, for 2 terms. One of the Company of Master Mariners of India. Former member, National Shipping Board. He is the first appointee to the National Shipping Board representing foreign employees. Rajesh was my immediate junior in the Training Ship Rajendra in 1973-74. Few years ago at a seminar in Mumbai, where Rajesh was the keynote speaker, I heard Rajesh paying rich tributes to his training ship seniors for mentoring him in those early days. Rajesh, we just passed on the mentoring that we received from our seniors to you, and I'm sure you passed it on to your juniors. Let us extend a warm welcome to Captain Rajesh Tandon, Global Director, V Group Manpower Services.
Just a small reminder on time, Captain Jose.
Okay, thank you. Captain Sanjay Maine, Country Head of IRI Maritime and Corporate Services. Captain Maine has 22 years sailing experience with leading tanker companies, including 8 years as master. While with TESMA, he helped to develop standards with regards to safety, quality, and security. Captain Sanjay Mani joined IRI as country head, Indian subcontinent, and set up Mumbai office. IRA and its affiliates provide administrative and technical support to Marshall Islands Maritime Registry and non-resident domestic corporate program. He's on the technical committee of Indian Register of Shipping and advisory board on various maritime committees. He is a founder member of Maritime Awareness Program Society, MAPS. He is an avid golfer and has been instrumental in setting up many golf tournaments in Maharashtra. A hearty welcome to Captain Sanjay Mani. We have with us Chief Engineer Mr. Uday Purohit, President of the Institute of Marine Engineers of India. Mr. Purohit is an alumnus of DMIT Calcutta belonging to 7781 batch. He is a chartered engineer. After a career spanning 15 years, Uday founded his company, Neptunus Power Plant Services Private Limited. Neptunus provides customized and operator-friendly engineering solutions to industry, marine, oil and gas sectors. He focuses on bringing cutting-edge technology to machinery maintenance. He's a popular speaker by invitation at industry associations and conglomerates. In 2018, he delivered a white paper at the Golden Jubilee celebrations of the Indian Navy's diesel testing and tuning team. He served as editor of the much acclaimed journal Marine Engineers Review from 2013 to 15. He currently serves as the president of the Institute of Marine Engineers, a body of 10,000 plus marine engineers. Mr. Purohit is widely traveled, an avid reader, and very passionate about his golf. I'm sure Uday already knows what Captain Sanjay Mani's handicap is. Welcome, Uday Purohit, to this program. We have with us Captain Anand Gonaski, Superintendent Office Assessment Program in Warships. Captain Anand belongs to the training ship Rajendra, 1976-77 batch. He joined Warships in 1983 as third officer and sailed for 28 years in various ascending ranks. He has over 20 years experience as master of various types of ships. He joined Warships Training Center in 2011 as head of training, India region, and supported Warships internal training program through conducting both classroom, simulator-based courses and organizing company seminars in India. He has been with Warships for over 37 long years now and continuing his maritime journey with the company. The Nautical Institute extends a warm welcome to Captain Anand. We have with us the young sailing master, Captain Charles Isaac. Captain Isaac began his sea career at the training ship Chanakya, Mumbai in August 2000. He obtained his master's certificate of competency in 2015 and thereafter joined Warships as chief officer, promoted to master in 2019 on a V Group managed oil tanker. As luck would have it, the COVID pandemic started during his very first ship in command, just as he was completing his contract and homebound. Though he got stuck on board himself, he played a crucial role in keeping the morale of the crew high, while the stakeholders were exploring all possibilities to effect a crew change. Later in the program, we'll hear from Captain Isaac his own experiences during the pandemic. A hearty welcome to Captain Charles Isaac. We have to welcome our media partners, Sailor Today, Marax, Bandarg Publications, C&O, and Saga Sandesh. When we started, as Vinod said, we had about a handful of people on the program, but today we have probably over 5,000 people tuning in. And this has all been possible due to the excellent cooperation extended by our media partners. We have the team Nautical Institute, our chairman, Captain Tom Joseph, Vice Chairman, Captain Alapat, Vinod Navin, all the office bearers, all the NI members tuning in from the world over, the Marine Society members, all seafarers and their families. A hearty welcome to all of you. Over to Navin with the rest of the proceedings.
Thank you, Captain Thomas. I should tell Captain Tandon that the moment we decided that we are going to have this event for V-Ships, I couldn't find anybody fitting than your good friend, Captain Jose Thomas, to welcome you and other eminent speakers. I would also just like to extend welcome. I can see Dr. Simon from the Mariners Society, Kerala. I can see NMC Nair, Captain Duncan McKelvey, Vice President, joining us from UK. I also see Abdul Ghani Sarang from NUSI, Mr. Amar Singh Thakur from MUI, Captain Mahesh Yadav is from here from FOSMA. I can see Captain Basin. So welcome to all of you to this event. As I mentioned, this is an event of trendsetters. Let me call upon, we have another trendsetter who was the first lady president of the Nautical Institute. She's set the trend on that. And when I asked her, once to tell me something that she does beyond maritime, she said, I only do maritime, maritime, and maritime. And it is very evident from the work that she's been doing. She's been talking to a lot of seafarers. She's been talking to a lot of maritime professionals. You can see her interviewing a lot of people. And I think she is just maritime and maritime, as she rightly said. Let me invite Ms. Jillian Carson Jackson, the President, Nautical Institute, London, joining us from Canberra, Australia. And she would also introduce the Nautical Institute and its global footprints to the audience. Over to you, Ms. Jillian.
Thank you so much. So that's why you asked that question. Now I know a bit better. Well, thank you so much for those introductions, and welcome to all those distinguished guests and speakers. It's an honor really to be here once again. The Nautical Institute is the organization for maritime professionals, and Vinod's asked me to tell you a little bit about what we do. As a professional organization, it is member focused. We have different levels of membership, and we welcome professionals both afloat and ashore, from cadet to master mariner, VTS operator, surveyors, and so many more. In addition to the individual members, the NI also has an affiliate membership for those organizations that wish to partner with the Nautical Institute and support the work of the Nautical Institute, including those Mariners Alerting and Reporting Scheme, the MARS reports that you do see in our magazine called Seaways, which comes out every month, and also the publication called The Navigator, which you may have seen on board vessels. This is the one that we do in combination with other entities, and including IFANS are one of our supporters, and the Royal Institute of Navigation. The NI focuses on our membership. It focuses on providing support to the membership. With over 7,000 members globally, the Nautical Institute also works through a strong network of more than 70 branches. And as we've heard, the Nautical Institute Southwest India branch has been fundamental in the work and the reason why we are here today. The NI is the voice of the maritime professional, representing at the national, the regional, and the international level. In the introduction, you heard, for example, I represent the Nautical Institute at IALA. I chair some of the working groups at IALA in both the e-navigation committee, looking at emerging digital technologies, and also in the VTS committee, where I chair the working group on personnel and training. One of the core areas that the NI has done is to get consultative status at the IMO. This provides a link from our membership from the seafarer directly into the work of the International Maritime Organization. With the impact of COVID, the IMO has moved to an online environment, like so many of us. And we, in the NI, recently participated in their all comms, or their all committees meeting, which agreed to the online working format for the NI, for the IMO, for the future meetings. And that also included the extraordinary session of the Maritime Safety Committee to address the impact of COVID on seafarers. And that brings us to the focus of today's event. While the borders have been closed, international travel has been all but impossible. Shipping has continued. The international bodies have developed protocols for crew change. They've called for seafarers to be recognized as key workers. And they've co-signed declarations on the need to facilitate crew changes. Yet, over 300,000 seafarers are still struggling to have crew change. And these are our family. These are husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, daughters and sons. And we know that a declaration will not bring them home. Sometimes the challenge may seem insurmountable. Yet, crew change is happening. It can happen. It takes significant logistical organization for crew change to happen in the best of times. During the COVID pandemic, hard work, innovation, and thinking outside the box is making crew change happen. Some months ago, as Vinod has said, based on an idea from one of the vice presidents of the Nautical Institute in the Belgium branch, the NI instigated this idea of a certificate of appreciation for those who go that extra mile, those who make the effort to make a difference. The NI Southwest India branch has provided a focus for the certificate of appreciation through these superbly organized events. I participated in one of the earlier events for the Port Health Office in Cochin, and it has just been this passion within the membership of both Captain Tom Joseph and Captain Vinod and the entire team at the NI Southwest India branch. So it's been wonderful to see this going and happening through the months of the time that we've been doing these events. So the NI Southwest India branch provided that focus and recognized that it is important to celebrate those good news stories. To hear from the seafarers who have experienced firsthand the hardships during COVID, and to recognize organizations and the entire team behind that organization, such as V-Ships, for their dedication and hard work. It is my honor and pleasure to be here today, and I thank Captain Tom Joseph, Vinod, and all of the NI Southwest India for organizing this event, and I look forward to hearing from all the speakers. Thank you.
Thank you, Jillian, for that strong words, but yet with a smiling face. And I should tell the audience, I went beyond, just stopping at what Jillian told me. And she sent me a message that she is interested in skating, skiing, snorkeling, kayaking, cycling, swimming, knitting. I would stop at that. But she asked me a question at the end. What do you like, Vinod? And I said, Jillian, I like troubling you for the last 10 to 12 weeks, holding you every Saturday evening. That is what I've been doing for the last 10 to 12 weeks. Sorry for that. And thanks once again, Jillian. I said, yes, this is again, I go back to the theme, I would say a trendsetter. And as Jillian just spoke, the Nautical Institute Southwest branch has been doing this event for the last 10 to 12 weeks, if my memory is correct. We started on July 9th with the Cochin Port Trust. Today we are on September 26th. And personally, I have been really happy hosting this show, because it has connected me with such wonderful people in our maritime industry. It has also reconnected with good friends of mine. So I have a real personal takeaway. I will hold these memories of the last 10, 12 weeks very close to my chest, for the rest of my life. But looking at the next speaker that I have, I'm really tempted to give away my memories close to heart for where he is now. Captain Nick Nash is on one of those floating beauties, I would say. He's on the Enchanted Princess, the new passenger cruise liner, which is going to be launched in just 2 to 3 days. So, Captain Nick, I wouldn't mind trading off my memories with where we are, and we can interchange the positions if you want. So let me invite Captain Nick Nash, who's the former past president of the Nautical Institute London. He's joining us from the cruise liner Enchanted Princess, and he would let us know about the various activities of the Nautical Institute right around the year. Over to you, Captain Nick Nash.
Thank you, Captain Vinod. Yes, it's a great pleasure to be on, and also to recognise the contributions of your branch to the sailors like myself that are on the ship, and to be recognised is what it's all about, and we do thank you for that as well. I'd like to thank Jillian for taking the reins and doing a great job, much more active virtually than I was, but unfortunately that's the way things are at the moment. What does the Nautical Institute mean for me? being a shipmaster, in my opinion, is a very narrow occupation, a fantastic and moral occupation with certain things that you have to do, and you're on your own. But the Nautical Institute provides a backup. As a master, I find that I'm often on my own with my own thoughts and worries, and it's heartening to read similar experiences from other masters in seaways. I'd recommend that you all take full advantage of our Institute's ability to support, encourage and counsel you in your professional job. And this is where the Nautical Institute's been so good for me, being able to read other masters' problems and understand their problems. And particularly now with COVID, John Lloyd's message to us all, particularly when I was stuck at home and now on the ship, it tells me what's happening around the world. And so that's so useful. It's a holding together of the whole maritime industry, as Jillian said, from shipmasters to cadets to VTS to surveyors to V-ships themselves to management, and in fact also reading the ISM code, which I have my ISM exam on Monday to make sure that I'm up to speed on that. And this is where the Nautical Institute to me does so well. Recent issues of the Nautical Institute's monthly magazine, which Jillian made reference to, have some very thought-provoking articles. And I would like to pay tribute to Lucy Budd and her team in London for the editing and the diplomacy they sometimes use in editing those articles. As a seafarer and a captain, and having particularly written some articles on navigation and pilotage, I was very happy to see Kes Buchan's article last year on the future of pilot training. And in it, Kes is saying that the fundamentals of pilotage have changed and we should no longer train on visual methods and must embrace electronic navigation. I've always been a strong advocate for more use of electronic systems, and Seaways gives me that forum to be able to push that we are now electronic navigators backed up with visual clues. Captain Mark Bull has come in with collision regulations for today's world, makes a point that preventing collisions at sea will have been in operations for 42 years now, and does new technology require new rules for the 21st century. With collisions still taking place and the situation showing no signs of improvement, has a gulf developed between the practitioners afloat and those regulators ashore. Gillian's own Connecting Women in Maritime and celebrating #Balance for Better, promoting women and professionals in the maritime world. She reports that there are many industry groups that are working to promote women in the industry. And as a trendsetter, she's surely setting the pace there and has my hearty support. And I'm sure she's going to bring the Nautical Institute into that forum very well. My own recent article in Seaways concentrated involving younger generation, which I'm so passionate to bring on. And I quoted a young third officer on my own ship who said that he recently joined and particularly excited by the opportunities provided to both contribute and learn from technical forums and read other experiences in that magazine. The benefit of all this to the institution, there's likely to be a greater encouragement from junior members who these changes are likely to affect and can move the institute into the 21st century. We have other short courses, DP, and also now we have, from my own perspective, we have a ship handling logbook. So we can use that for aspiring ship handlers to record their maneuvers with space for comments and reflections. A further recording tool at the Nautical Institute is the advancement of CPD, log on the Nautical Institute website, and here you can record your professional activities to assist in your own advancement. But I always remember and always use a great quote, which I saw in a Greek training college when I was visiting one of the islands from Captain Takos. Never fear to move with the times, but never lose touch with the past. So thank you very much indeed. I really enjoyed being president. I'm enjoying being on the council, and it's through the branches that we get out to the seafarers. And so thank you to you and your team for making that so. And you have my hearty support and congratulations. So thank you very much. I've enjoyed being on your presentation. Unfortunately, I have to dash now because I've got an inspection of some MES and then, as I said, some other inspections to do in the yard. But I've thoroughly enjoyed being on. I wish you all the hearty success and congratulations to you and your team. So thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Captain Nick Nash. As you were speaking, I just went and quickly had a check on my COC. My COC is still very valid. So our deal is still on if you would like to interchange positions. Thank you, Captain Nash. And yes, I did. I personally am a beneficiary of the various articles, ship handling in particular, not as an exam point of view, but when I was handling those ships, it really did help me with those articles on ship handling. Thank you once again, Captain Nick Nash. We will let you go with your next duty, sir.
Thank you very much indeed, and great job.
Okay. Jillian, I would just share the screen. It's a picture of what Captain Nick Nash has sent. I don't know whether he'd stay back but I would like to put that picture, just 30 seconds for me.
We see the email. There it is, the Enchanted Princess. Beautiful.
Yeah, this is where Captain Nick Nash is on. He just focused from those enhanced princess. And that's why I was waiting for that. Yes, Enchanted Princess, yes. And this is his office. So these are the pictures I got this morning from Captain Nick Nash. Thank you.
Wow, look at that office.
Yeah. So, yes, let's move on. I mentioned the event of trendsetters. I have a big trendsetter coming up next. He is the one who was instrumental in setting up V-Ships offices all across India. He moved on then to be part of many maritime organizations. He was involved as a support to the maritime unions, seafarers' welfare, maritime training, maritime organizations, and so on. He's still very much a part of all this, what I just spoke of. And a true loyalist, because I believe Captain Rajesh Tandon has been with V-Ships almost right from the time that V-Ships have set up in India. As you know, V-Groups probably started in 1930s and then V-Ships in India in 1980. And he's been with them since then. But if you ask me to pick one on Captain Rajesh Tandon as being a trendsetter, I would pick the one in 1993 when he was part of the Gang of Five to set up the first Nautical Institute branch in India in Mumbai. And that is something great. I mean, to know that it has come from Rajesh Tandon makes it even much more sweeter. So let me invite the recipient of the prestigious Varuna Award, Captain Rajesh Tandon, the Global Director for V Group Manpower Services. Over to you, sir, Captain Rajesh Tandon.
Good afternoon, and thank you, everybody. You know, first Joe Scotty, and now that you mentioned me, I've been transported back to the 1993s when, as you mentioned, the Gang of Five, and I distinctly remember them all: Captain Anuj Chopra, Captain Daryl Briganza, Captain Mohan Nayak, Captain Amit Kanumala, and myself, five of us under the guidance of Captain SSS Riwari, who was the then principal of the LBS College. We got together and, we got the first branch in India. And in fact, the then Deputy Secretary, Mike Plumridge, participated in the evening meeting, paper presentation, and the dinner. Today, I look back with a great sense of nostalgic satisfaction to see the success and growth of the Nautical Institute, both in India as well as globally, in terms of the professional activities, as well as the number of members and the branches. Surely the organization is doing something very right to be able to harness so much of interest and participation. My compliments and congratulations to the organization and all the members who have been part of the journey and the success story. Ms. Jillian, Vinod Naveen, Joe Scotty, and so many others over here from the Nautical Institute and the entire industry, it is my pleasure to be here to introduce V-Ships as for this certificate of appreciation, which we are humbled to receive at the hands of the Nautical Institute. Amit, can I have the presentation, please, the slide? In keeping with Amit, are you there? Okay, yeah, in keeping with anything that we do in V-Ships, go to slide number 3, Amit. In keeping with anything that we do in V-Ships, safety is our #1 priority, and all our meetings and formal discussions or informal discussions, we start with something that we call a safety moment. Now, under the current times, and I think Jillian, referred to the COVID and the consequences, the title of my safety moment today is "The Lockdown May Have Eased, but the virus has not gone away." As more and more countries are opening up, and with revised guidelines on Unlock 3, as it's called in India, the government of India has allowed the opening of most of the services in India as well. This comes as a relief to most of us, as we can now do a lot of activities which were previously blocked, including dining out in our favorite restaurants. Well, I haven't done that yet. The unlocking, though a necessary step, might have created a false sense of security amongst us, some of us, to believe that the coronavirus has gone away. Guys, the virus has not gone away. We have to live our lives and probably accept that the virus may not disappear anytime soon. We should still be careful and follow all safety protocols, be it the use of the mask or hand hygiene, sanitizers, social distancing. It is scientifically proven that the chances of virus spread can be greatly reduced if everyone wears a mask while moving out. The intention of this safety moment is not to scare anyone, but to remind that the danger still lurks out there, and we must not let our guards down and continue following the safety guidelines. Thank you, Amit. We go to the next slide, please. Well, Vinod had asked me to give an introduction of when V-Ships started. Well, the company that started what we know V-Ships today was called Shipping Management SAM, and it was known by its popular trade name. V-Ships was established in 1984. The company's history, however, dates back to 1934, when Mr. Alexander Vlasov established shipping companies around the world in several cities, such as London, Buenos Aires, New York, Milan, Hamburg, etc. And it progressively grew from that time. After Alexander, his son, Boris Vlasov, continued the legacy to improve and expand through the business acquisitions until his passing in 1987. As we mentioned, V-Ships was formed in 1984, and that was actually the third-party management arm that has currently grown to what we see today. As part of the V-Group portfolio of businesses, which provides leading global ship management and marine services, the total organization now spans across 83 nationalities and 60 offices worldwide. V-Group works with a range of vessels and their owners around the world, with assets including tankers, bulk carriers, gas carriers, chemical carriers, container ships, vessels deployed within the offshore, renewable energy markets, leisure industry. We tailor to the individual client's needs by providing a service at their doorstep with all the global spread that we have in terms of the service. My colleagues, Manikandan and Captain Gomatam, will speak more on the various services that we offer. Vinod, you mentioned about setting up in India, and I think I will quickly talk about that. V-Ships, from the time V-Ships ventured into third-party management in 1984, India was amongst the first destination for the company in its quest for competent seafarers. In fact, we have in our midst Captain Gonaski, who was an officer on the first vessel with full Indian crew that V-Ships took over in 1983. We'd like to hear from his experiences as well. The company has come a long way from then, and as the timeline on the screen suggests, the growth has been progressively consistent over the decades. For me personally, it has been a very satisfying experience to have been involved right from the setting up of the company's own presence in India in early 90s and its growth globally, which today we can boast of 44,000 active seafarers, 60 offices globally with presence in 30 countries, and about 2,200 vessels that we serve with the various types of offerings that we have. I am thankful to V-Ships and the entire Indian maritime community, which includes industry colleagues, our social partners. I see NUSI and MUI represented here, all other stakeholders, and I think I should name a few. Nautical Institute, definitely, the Director General of Shipping's Office, FOSMA, MASA, Company of Master Mariners. this COVID time has seen that the entire industry has come together as a single united force to work towards the common goal, is to looking after the welfare of the seafarers. I have been here for a few years, and as Vinod has reminded me, I've been here for a start of 3 decades now in Mumbai. And the last I saw this kind of coming together and uniting of resources was on the incident of the Heavy Spirit, which was one of our tankers which had got involved in an accident in Korea, and the captain and chief officer Indian, that was a V-ship's vessel, and the V-ship's officers were incarcerated for a year and a half. Wrongly, I might add, because they were at anchor and followed all the protocols, but the accident happened because a barge that was being towed broke its tow and banged into the ship. At that time, I remember everybody got together to fight the battle, and we eventually succeed in the efforts of bringing those two back honorably discharged. Coming back to the pandemic, the seafaring community has shown its mettle and commitment during the COVID pandemic. Frequently goes unnoticed, and seafarers are still struggling to return back to their families. Let's put our efforts together and continue in our crusade to try and make crew changes a reality without the challenges that we currently go through. I'm extremely proud of this profession. I'm proud of the seafarers that we have, and I am myself proud to be a seafarer. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, sir. Amit, can you go back to the second slide just for a second? Amit, yeah, where you had the picture of Captain Rajesh Tandon, the second slide. Yeah. Okay. You were talking proud of being a seafarer. I think we are being proud of that. You are a fellow of the Nautical Institute. You can see the picture on the right side, the gang of 5, and I don't think you will find it difficult to spot the charming face of Captain Rajesh Tandon, who's standing first on the right side. So thank you very much, sir. It was good to have you started off the Nautical Institute, and we are able to continue with the efforts that you had taken way back in 1993. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Vinod. I hope I lived up to my time. I timed myself. It was 7.5 minutes only.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm watching on that. Well, the next speaker, as I mentioned at the beginning, this has been an event personally and for all of us at the Nautical Institute, being an event of connecting and reconnecting with people. I would say the next speaker is from the same place where I lived half my life, in Chennai. He's graduated from the same university where I graduated from, the Madras University. He passed out of a maritime college where I started my first teaching assignment in 2005 at the Met University. So I think I wouldn't want any other reasons to invite a fellow Chennite in Mr. Muthuswamy Manikandan. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Captain Vinod. It's good to hear that you're also from Chennai, and yes, Captain Tandon has been there since beginning of V-ships, and we all have been growing up by hearing his speech all the time. So, with all the humbleness, I would say that thanks for extending this opportunity to us, recognizing our hard work, sincere efforts, and we are honored and feel privileged to be part of this ceremony actually. So thanks for recognizing again our hard work, and we continue our hard work and sincere efforts with all our humbleness, and our contributions to the seafarers' welfare will ever be continued. Whatever the kind of business that we are in today, ultimately there is only one business, that is human well-being, human welfare. So we ships, in the larger picture, we work around that. The seafarers' welfare is an ultimate goal for all the services tailor-made to take care of the seafarers' welfare and the human well-being. And I would like to just list out all of the services that what we are doing it, how we do the ship management services, and what are the services that we have, how we are supporting the seafarers 24/7. Ship management is our core activity. That's the fleet cell. We have a new innovative fleet operating model where the ship management, the fleet cell, the core operating team stays at center. The services are supporting the core operating team. So the fleet superintendent, the managers, everybody stays in the center, and the other service partners are going to be around, circling around this fleet cell to support the seafarers. So we have a different technical services in the group. Not only we restrict ourselves with the ship management, the core ship management, we also provide services in the sense all our 600 vessels are serviced within by in-house companies. Basically, the technical services, CTech and CCOM, we have two repair companies and the electronic navigation repair companies. We have underwater repair companies we call UMC. UMC is, I think, second largest in the world, who provides underwater services, subsea services. And the new building supervision also we have a teams in China, we have team in Japan, we have team everywhere to provide the new building supervision, remote dry docking, special projects, and condition monitoring team. So we the lube oil and fuel oil analysis, and keep providing the expert advice to the ships. So we tailor make our services all around this, the technical services we call it, to support the fleet cell and the seafarers eventually. And the crew management, we also, next is the crew management. Yes, we recruit, attract seafarers, we train, and the competency management. We have a world-class training facility with us, and in fact, we partnered with now Ocean Technology. We have augmented in virtual reality based training programs available for our seafarers through the CBT. When they are at home, also they are being trained. In addition to the simulator programs that what we have a world-class training facility to offer the services to our seafarers. In addition to that, our company is also providing the crew services. So the crew services is something that we have a world-class travel company with us called GMT. So we have gone for some acquisitions, different companies, Argo Travels and off late in the Greece. So we do offer the cost-effective travel services. We were able to, I can say that I think my colleague Venkatesh will take us around. Since March 2020, we have managed to move. The total number of crew movements is 36,000 crew movements, 18,000 off-signers and 16,000 on-signers, which wouldn't have been possible without our own in-house travel company. The training and catering services, also we have a catering services. We do oceanic catering, 2,000 vessels across the globe. As Captain also highlighted that we have 2,000 vessels in this, we are offering the catering services. We do have a supply chain, Marca supply chain, we call Marine Contracting Association. So Marine Contracting Association, that we have over 1,000 vessels. We have different companies pulled together to provide cost-effective solutions and procurement solutions, and logistic solutions to our customers. So, and of course, our seafarers, eventual beneficiaries are the seafarers here. So then we have our own in-house insurance company to handle our claims. The claim handling as well as the insurance support services are provided by VScope. We call it as our own in-house insurance group. And they also provide such a service in such a way that the customers eventually have a direct benefit from our management services. Next page slide, please. Yeah, and this is what I mentioned about the technical services, which we have integrated dedicated technical service division. As I mentioned earlier, we have a different groups. We deliver maximum value for money, being an integral part of V-Ship's offering, leveraging our scales and capabilities. So we have, we have also, we have gone back. We never wanted to be called as old school. So we've gone back to the now group last couple of years back that our plan maintenance system and our total digital platform has to be revamped. So they've gone back and we have tied up with the global partners, and we developed a system called ShipSure. This is the latest version of ShipSure, global digital ship management platform, which has the real-time updated data. The sense that this is an integrated platform. It integrates procurement, accounts, the crewing function, as well as the ship management, technical management, and the logistics. So we have a complete integrated single ship management, the digital services. So we work around that. In addition to that, we also have a world-class V-Ships management system. It's completely gone on digital. So most of our vessels are equipped with VSAT now. So the seafarers are 24/7. They're connected to the office through these systems. So the performance management is also linked to this. So we do a real-time performance monitoring system as well, especially in Chennai. This is being done, and this we call it. We used to call this as a technical analysis and compliance cell. Now it's gone to V Insight. And so this all something revolves around our company performance. And yes, the digital platform, this is completely innovative solutions. And it's an integrated, I believe that's a unique service that we offer to improve our service delivery. Ultimately, the flawless service delivery is our goal, and we work around that. So, and in overall, yes, this is this basic ship management services our offering. And in conclusion, nutshell, I would say that it's a great honor again to receive such an award. It's a prestigious from a prestigious institute like Nautical Institute, and thanks for motivating us and in the right spirit. And in fact, this adds our energy level. It shifts our energy band to a different level now. We now have to prove we have to go extra mile and prove ourselves. Consistent performance is something that one of our value. So we hope to receive such awards from Nautical Institute more and more. So we need to keep up our hard work and sincere efforts to get such recognitions. Thank you very much once again. And this is my first ever speech in Nautical Institute. And thanks for giving me this opportunity again. And all the senior leaders who participate in this forum. It's really honor for me to speak, and thanks a lot. Thank you very much. I hope I'm in time. I'm finishing my speech in time. Thank you very much once again, Captain Vinod.
Thank you, Mr. Manikanthan, the Managing Director, V-Ships Management India Private Limited. Yes, I think Jillian as well as probably Mr. Uday Purohit probably must have been interested in what you just talked about technology. And as we all know, the technology is fast catching up with shipping as like any other industry. So thank you once again for letting the audience know about what is V-Ships and what technical management that you do. I should also tell you that we have Mr. Sanjay Vakil from HIMT, who is the chief engineer who has been awarded with the membership with the Nautical Institute. I have a few technical superintendents from other companies as members of the Nautical Institute. So we welcome you to be a member of the Nautical Institute and help the Nautical Institute as well as you grow along with the Institute. Chennai, yes, I have my good friends in Chennai, Captain Ganesh Srinivasan and Captain Vijayaraghavan are part of this event. I welcome them. Yes, Mr. Sanjay Vakil is himself part of this event. I also see Captain Rajesh Nambiar, the Secretary of CMMI Kochi chapter, Captain Sardar, and a few other people, Captain Shaukat Mukherjee. Welcome all of you to this event of the Nautical Institute Certificate of Appreciation to V-Ships. Yes, as I keep going back to this event, the theme being the trendsetters, and I have yet another trendsetter in my next speaker lined up. And when I ask the next speaker to tell me what is maritime, he shows me two fingers. Okay, it shows a V, right? And he's been with V-Ships, I believe, right from 1983. He didn't look left, he didn't look right, he didn't look down. He just looked up from 1983 till 2020. Let me invite Captain Anand Gonsagi, the Officer Superintendent of V-Ships India Private Limited, and what a trend that he has set for the youngsters who are joining up sea from 1983 till 2010. I believe close to 4 decades being loyal to the company that he is serving. It is an honor to invite Captain Anand Gonsagi, the Officer Assessment Superintendent of V-Ships India. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Captain Naveen. At the outset, a very good day to all the delegates and attendees attending this function. I would like to thank everyone here from V-Ships for giving me this opportunity to address this August gathering arranged by Nautical Institute. I started my sea career as a deck cadet in 1976-77. I was a Rajendra cadet and joined V-Ships in 1983 as a third officer on a chemical tanker. Rising to the rank of master in 1990, I sailed on company ships till about 2011. During my 20+ years in command as master, I had the opportunity to serve various types of vessels, including oboes, product tankers, crude oil tankers, chemical tankers, type 1, 2, and 3, and gas tankers, plus occasional bulk carriers thrown in between. And commanded over 28 vessels during this period. And to be very honest, I'm quite thankful and pleased to see a lot of familiar faces on this function. Those with whom I've had the privilege of working in sailing in the past. I've done dry docks, takeovers, handovers, shipyard deliveries of more than 6 ships during my tenure as a master. I have led company initiatives for onboard implementation of ISM, and my career developed with the changing legislation of SOLAS, MARPOL, and STCW. I enjoyed the new challenges with every assignment and the increasingly strenuous inspection regimes that accompanied it. I quite clearly remember once having gone through a conversion from a chemical to a gas tanker, getting the endorsement following a 28 days intensive training program with just 4 cargo operations. At that time, I was already a master, and I was suddenly set up with a complete new set of safe cargo and operational responsibilities. However, such challenges have also helped me to grow as a person and develop skills at dealing with new situations and an appreciation for the support received from other stakeholders who also took a risk with me. Between my sailing contracts, I spent 2 years at V-Ships Training Center, Mumbai between 2004 and 2006 as a trainer. And this gave me a perspective on the seafarer skills expected by clients and industry in general. I finally came ashore in 2011 as head of training center in Mumbai, India region, and led the V-Ships internal training program by conducting both classroom, simulator-based training, as well as planning company seminars from time to time. I am now a member of the company's global assessment team and supporting crewing function with conducting online global interviews of seafarers, joining and getting promoted to various ranks in the deck department, which is basically a spot risk assessment of seafarers with all its human factors and limitations. In a career spanning almost 4 decades in V-Ships, I have grown with all the challenges and responsibilities placed in front of me. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank all my seafaring and office colleagues for all the support they have provided me during my career, both at sea and ashore, and for the opportunities provided throughout my career for professional development. Thank you once again to all of you, sir.
Thank you, Captain Anand. It's always a pleasure to listen to people like you who have spent years and years at sea. And I should say I would rather come back to you at a later stage, because I am working with the Indian Maritime University, and I'm sure the students studying at the university would love to hear from you, sir. So I will come back to you on that after the event. Once again, thank you for speaking on this event.
Thank you, sir.
That reminds me, I extend my welcome to my colleagues at the Indian Maritime University, and we mention about the Seafarers Association. We have Seafarers Association running from north to south of Kerala. We have Seafarers Mariners Club Kannur, we have the Mariners Club Calicut, Mariners Club Thrissur, the Mariners Society I did mention from Cochin, and the Mariners Forum Trivandrum connected with us on this event. Welcome to all of you. Next in our lineup, I think everybody agrees to the fact that the shipping, how important is shipping to the supply chain. And I think all of us being in the maritime industry understands the importance and significance of the seafarer in that supply chain. I personally believe the seafarers play a very vital and are one of the critical and strongest link in that supply chain. So it only makes me happy, as the world is pushing forward to key worker status for seafarers, it only makes me happy to invite a key worker in Captain Charles Isaac, who will share about his onboard experience in specific about the sign off that he did a few months back. Over to you, Captain Charles Isaac.
Thank you, Captain Naveen. Am I audible to all?
Yes, please go ahead, sir.
Okay, thank you. Firstly, I wish to share my gratitude and thankfulness to Nautical Institute branch London and the Southwest branch for appreciating the V-Ships team on our behalf as a seafarer, and also for all the work that they have been doing for the cause of getting us on and off the vessels. And also allowing me as a seafarer to be on this platform, share the screen among the industry stalwarts, and as Captain Naveen has said, the to be able to thank the company and to getting us off, even though these are difficult times of COVID-19. And we as seafarers on board, we understand the situation. We know what's going on. After coming on land, we understood how difficult it is even to order a single thing at home. And to get us off these difficult times, it is really a stupendous effort from the V-Ships team. I have been with V-Ships for a long time now, and I've grown to the ranks in this very organization. I believe that V-Ships always stand by the values of giving importance to the seafarer and their needs. I've seen it firsthand when I'm on board and with the fellow seafarers. Whenever there's an emergency at home or there is a medical emergency on board, the V-Ships team immediately care for the seafarers and get them home. In these unprecedented and difficult times, Team V-Ships has stood by the values and importance given to the seafarers working on their vessels. So I thank the V-Ships team, Captain Rajesh Tandon sir, Captain Venkatesh Gaumatham sir. You have been very supportive during these times, especially during a time on board. And whenever through the issues going on, and you always animate the issues experience India, Philippines, and Ethiopia. I was in command of one of the vessels, the MT Hawassa. As you can see, the picture shared by Amit, I had specifically asked him to share it. And this is the 10th of July, where we are going home at the port of Djibouti. The joy that we experience is one of a kind. I think this will be remembered in our entire lives. As we all are well aware, there are challenges faced due to restrictions on travels imposed by all countries during these difficult times. Once the pandemic hit, we as seafarers were literally quarantined on our ships. We were going to discharge cargo at the port of Hodeidah, Yemen. It was, I think, the end of March, probably 26, 27, and supposed to sign off at the next port of call. On the 11th of March, who declared Corona as a pandemic, and slowly all the countries started closing down, locking down. Visas, what we issued, were cancelled, and basically we were stuck on board. Almost immediately, our V-Ships team, the senior management, they came into the foray. The connectivity with our families were increased. A future care program and the ComPsych helpline was launched. We could phone in and talk to a psychologist if you're anxious and worried. Also, things out from the crewing officers from Bombay, Delhi, and Chennai. And this was very heartening and welcoming as a master, because when crew used to come and tell me that, sir, I got a call from the office, and they were asking about me. They were really happy, and it was much appreciated by the team at V-Ships to doing this gesture, because we knew that if something would happen on board, then definitely the V-Ships team will step up and take care of our families once we are on board. The key issues that we faced on board, as Captain Naveen had asked me to highlight during this time when we were trading during the pandemic, was the mental health. And of course, there were times when people used to panic. We seafarers usually are very strong, and we survive all the storms and make sure we head into port and the safe haven. When the storms such as coronavirus hit us, uh, all our safe havens were closed. Normally, we go into port, complete our time, and once the reliever comes, we are happy to go back home and do our duties and our families. But this was an unfamiliar territory. The storm such as Corona, once it hit, our safe havens closed our gates to our entry. And it was heartening when finally V-Ships and the company, they opened these gates for us. During these 3 months on board, it is important to keep a good mental health, the mental perspective, because as we all know, till the vaccine is launched, Corona is not going to go anywhere. We have to keep fighting it, and we have to keep doing our jobs. Sometimes, as us seafarers, we have to do our duties, and sometimes go beyond the call of duty. On our specific trade, we were working uh, with cargo, which we were bringing into a war risk area, Hodeidah port in Yemen. As we are all aware that it is a war risk area, there were sanctions from United Nations, and just to show that how the supply chain works, when I used to call the agents at the Hodeidah as to why we are not able to go to the next port, we are waiting at the coalition anchorage in the Red Sea for almost 3 months. And the response was, Captain, we don't know. Due to the war and the coronavirus, we are stuck. Here, there are lines in the petrol pump. There's lack of fuel. We are carrying gasoline. We had to discharge it at the Hodeidah port. And the supply chain was, due to the coronavirus and the lockdown and the civil war, it was closed. So we knew we had to stay on board. We had to discharge the cargo. We had to unite globally so as to make things work and happen in Yemen. And on board, of course, the morale used to be at times low, especially when the families were sick. And we had people coming and saying, sir, maybe it is a corona, and how we are going to get past it, who is going to help us. So immediately we would phone into the offices in Bombay and Chennai and the various offices, and they would always be very helpful and responsive in saying, don't worry, sir, we are there. And if anything is there from our side, just tell us, and we will help you out. By God's grace, we could finish our time without anyone being infected by corona and get off from the vessel. Jillian earlier was mentioning the extra mile that each one of us needs to go in these times of corona. So if I don't mention the extra mile this time, I would not be doing justice to the cause that was done by the company, our V-Ships team. The extra mile that went forward in our case was we were under the UN sanctions, and we could not do any operation after our inspection was done, and we had to head to Hodeidah port. That's all. Until unless we complete discharging, we cannot do crew change and any of the services. So it took a great effort from the V-Ships team to get the permissions, the United Nations for opening up the port and allowing us seafarers, all three of our vessels, 68 crew members, we arrived into Djibouti on the 9th of July, and for allowing us to get back homes and allowing the new set of crew to come on board. Thirdly, and most importantly, I would like to thank Captain Venkatesh Gomatam, Captain Rajesh Tandon, Mr. Krishna Kumar Iyer, Mr. Alexander Dolanen, and the entire team who worked behind the scenes for arranging the chartered flights. I, being in the situation, always understood what was going on, and it helped knowing that yes, all efforts were made when I could transfer that to the team, and even we on board, we understood. So I thank them from the bottom of my heart, and I salute you all, sirs, for getting us off. It was a stupendous effort. The ships diverted almost a deviation of 700 miles to come to the port of Djibouti to get us off. So thanks for the extra mile. Thanks for getting us off. The sign on and sign off was very smooth. We came into Bombay. We had a quarantine at the hotels after testing of COVID-19, and we were able to unite with our families. And just an hour ago, I got a call from my line manager saying, Captain, the next vessel is ready for you. When are you ready? So I told him, yes, sir, I'm ready as soon as the ship comes into port and for the next assignments. Because I know that as seafarers, I'm in good hands. I'm with V ships, and I have to do this. We need to go beyond our call of duty, and we have to sustain shipping as a whole. We cannot sit at home and just hope for this corona to go away. It will not go away. We just have to live with it. We have to live with it, go on with our lives, do all these things that Captain Rajesh Tandon had said, reinforce mask, social distancing, and almost don't panic. Because once we panic, we as soldiers, we are never going to win this war against corona. We are already defeated if we panic. So thank you, sirs. Thank you, sirs. Thank you for giving me a chance to be able to share my gratefulness and thankfulness. And I would close in my speech now. Thank you, Captain Naveen. Thank you, Amit.
Thank you, Captain Charles. It is always nice. We have a lot of seafarers listening to us on this event, and it is always nice that we have this first-hand information about what is going on the ship and how a seafarer is able to sign on and sign off. And isn't it a beautiful industry that we are all part of? The best thing in maritime industry is that we work as a team. So this was a call of teamwork, both from people working ashore and those on board. And people like you understood the real scenario. I think it definitely helped the people working ashore. But I would like to make a point over here to Captain Charles and to people who are sailing that we are probably quite used to this working extra hours and so on. But I think over the last 6 months, there have been lots of people working behind the scenes, especially those working ashore in various shipping companies who have probably spent sleepless nights to get seafarers like you and others back home as well as to connect. So a salute to them for the people who are working behind the scenes for the seafarers. Thank you, Captain Charles. Well, I didn't want to press the mute button because we were hearing to the key worker, the most important person on the event. So I would let it go. But I would also knew that I had two golfers coming up next, both golfers. So I know the golfers would finish off things very fast. I have the first golfer coming up. And as I mentioned, event of trendsetter, yes, very much a person who sets his own rules, a very good speaker. The other day I was watching an event where he was having the Vice Chancellor of my university, Dr. Malini Shankar, as host, and the way he conducted the event, I could make out how good a person, as I mentioned, who sets his own rules. Yes, he's a trendsetter with his setting up his company, as we heard, the Neptunus Power Plant Services Limited, an alumni of DMET, and a person who's a tech-savvy person. Technology is what is going to drive shipping in the coming years, and I think people like him will be very much in the forefront. Let me invite Mr. Uday Purohit, the President of IMEI India. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you for unmuting me. Ladies and gentlemen, very good afternoon. Rajesh, It's very nice to be on this program. So, Rajesh was my first boss after I quit sailing. The jury is still out. The jury is still out whether Rajesh was a good boss who coaxed me into entrepreneurship, or whether Rajesh was such a hard taskmaster that he forced me into entrepreneurship. So whenever Rajesh and I meet, we always have a discussion. I think the latter. He thinks it's the former. But over the last 22 years, we formed, 25 years, we formed a great friendship. One of the few master mariners I call a dear friend. One of the few engineers he calls a friend of his. We tease each other, but it's been a nice, it's been a great journey together. I've had some good interaction with V-ships over the years. I saw Rajesh setting up V-ships. I was working for Captain Sood then, another brilliant person, legend in the industry. So in the short span of time between quitting sea, starting my own venture, I spent some time with V-ships. Rajesh refused to give me a job in V-ships, and therefore I had to start something on my own. But having said that, Rajesh was a good boss. Rajesh was an outstanding human being, and I must share with you one incident that will always remain with me. One of the reasons I started respecting him a lot more. So V-ships had taken over a vessel called the Rika. She was out in the Kira. I'm sorry, Kira. Kira and Rika were sister ships. Our crew had just boarded, and I think less than 10 days after they were on board, the vessel sank. Painfully, all the seafarers were lost. And during that stress time, I saw Rajesh handling queries from families. You can imagine how painful it must have been. A lot of anxiety, a lot of mistrust, a lot of animosity towards the company. But Rajesh stayed in office round the clock. He was very honest, very forthright, a lot of empathy. Never gave any information that was not true. And I think the man, his mettle is to be judged at times of crisis. Rajesh, you were outstanding during that period. It's a story that I relate to a lot of people. It's a story I talk about you with great pride. And I think that was one of the defining moments that I saw you as a person. No wonder you've been a good leader. I think V-ships as a company has done well. After I started my own entrepreneur journey, Rajesh, over a beer one day, I think both of us had one too many. But Rajesh asked me if I knew anybody who could tackle some issues on its Framo pumps. And I said, Rajesh, I could do that for you if you wish. A month later, we rolled out the first Framo course in India, I believe, Rajesh. Ran for almost a decade till my own preoccupation with my own company got so intense that I couldn't spare time. But over that period, we built several wonderful training courses. And I have to say this about you, Rajesh. Any other person would have been tempted to say that why do we need to hire an outsider? They were paying me reasonably well for a change. They were paying me reasonably well. It was a temptation always to do those courses in-house, but I think that was the respect for my IP, etc. So wonderful knowing you, Rajesh. Wonderful knowing V-ships. Always been a pleasure to work with you guys. I'm thrilled that the Nautical Institute is felicitating you. Many congratulations to all of you, and keep doing the great job ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. As always, it was nice to hear you out. But I should tell you a small secret, inside secret in our university. When the new Vice Chancellor, Dr. Malini Shankar, when she took over office and she said, okay, I need to get all the alumni on board. And she said, okay, let's get TS Dufferin, TS Rajendra, TS Chanakya, NIPM, and everybody on board. And I said, okay, fine, I will make out something. And I was making it out. And then she calls me up and says, I got a call from an alumni in DMET that why have you not included DMET? I said, madam, it must be Mr. Uday Purohit. Let's put DMET on board. So I would also tell, I would use this forum. The IMU is looking, I mean, we are welcoming all those alumni of the institutions that I just mentioned, right from Dufferin, DMET. We have made our IMU portal to include all of you. Please register and be part of the IMU, and you can maintain your identity on the IMU portal as it was, whether as a DMET or a TS Chanakya or TS Dufferin. Thank you once again, sir. We continue with trendsetters in our event today. I have yet another trendsetter. He is the one who brought the Indian registries to Mumbai, who's been doing an administrative service for Marshall Islands flag. He's been a founder member of MAPS, as we heard in the welcome address, which is a maritime awareness program society. And as we heard, he too is a golfer. I would definitely love to hear, just going back to the shipping terms, who won the match? Is it the chief engineer or the master? Whether it was Mr. Uday Purohit or Captain Sanjay Maini. So let me invite Captain Sanjay Maini, who's the country head of IRI Maritime and Cooperative Services Private Limited. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Captain Vinod Naveen. And thank you for including me in this felicitation panel. I've had the pleasure to speak at the AGM of the Nautical Institute in Colombo a few years ago, and it left an everlasting memory. The hospitality was just fantastic, and that trip was something that I will always cherish. We've had a very long-standing relationship with V-Ships, and they are one of probably the best established company in crew management and ship management, and most of them working in V-Ships I have personally known, especially Captain Tandon and Captain Gonsagi, Captain Venkatesh, and I've interacted with them on many occasions. These are unprecedented times, and therefore, as a result of this, they are unprecedented challenges as well for every industry. Shipping industry is no different. And the greatest challenge that emerged from this pandemic and the resulting lockdown was obviously the crew change. Seafarers, as most of the other speakers have mentioned as well, are the backbone of this industry. I always say that there are only two players in the shipping industry. One is the ship owner and the other is the seafarer. He takes the risk and he gives that risk to be maintained by the seafarer. So for any employer, seafarers' well-being should be their topmost concern. And I must specifically say this because many a times you have heard that shipping industry is a very silent industry. What the seafarers do, not many people know. And that was perhaps the reason why we started the Maritime Awareness Program Society, is to bring to the world what the maritime industry does for this world. V-Ships, as perhaps the greatest employer or the largest employer of seafarers globally, took up this challenge. And I have to admit, with the numbers that I just heard, 36,000, that is just unbelievable. They had to overcome so many hurdles, as I know, and to be able to have achieved this during this lockdown is really remarkable. And I heartily congratulate each member of the V-Ships team. Well done, sirs. Well done. This challenge is far from over. Until the borders open up and the pre-COVID travel is reinstated, the shipping companies will have to continue these efforts. and go that extra mile, as Jillian put it. As a flag state, we too have had a share of this challenge. With nearly 4,800 vessels under our flag, you can well imagine the scope of our work and the seafarers that we deal with through their companies. Having said that, our global team was able to provide all services to every ship owner all through the lockdown. Now, all our 28 offices are open, some with limited staff and some working from home, and I must add, very effectively. We also had a share of special sign-offs in India. And I must say we were successful on all counts, mainly thanks to the Indian authorities, which is the Ministry of Home Affairs, Ministry of External Affairs, and especially the Director General's office. I take this opportunity to convey my gratitude to them as well. The IMO too has been busy, as Jillian said, drafting a MSC resolution. It's called the Recommended Action to Facilitate Ship Crew Change, Medical Care and Seafarer During the Pandemic. Several nations have given the status of key workers to the seafarers, and they are trying to convince other member states to allow free flow of crew travel. So I hope things will improve soon. And I want to say a lot of things about how the shipping companies have tackled this nightmare of crew change, but very essential at that. And this concept of chartered flights was perhaps the single most innovative maritime initiative. And I really, really commend all the shipping companies, especially V ships with such large employment. And I must again congratulate each one of you. Many, many congratulations. And thank you for having me here to felicitate V ships. And I wish them all success in all their future endeavors. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Captain Sanjay Manu. Thank you for being with us. And yes, as you rightly said, there's a lot of work put in by a lot of people, including the Indian administration. And it is a result of all that we could, I wouldn't say smooth, but carry on with seafarer sign-on, sign-off. Thank you, sir, once again. Jillian, I would like to share my screen.
You should be able to.
Do you see my screen?
Not quite yet. I see you starting to share. Yes, there it is.
Okay, so this is what we are here gathered for, the certificate of appreciation to Captain Venkatesh Gomatam and Team V Ships. I would request Jillian to hand over the certificate to Captain Venkatesh and speak a few words of appreciation.
Well, certainly, it really is my honor to do this. And having heard from the seafarers and having heard about the story of V ships, you really have such a lovely and strong history going on. When I said about going the extra mile, I guess I realized that now you've gone the extra hundreds of miles with the activity that's been going on and the innovation, as was just mentioned, to have these chartered flights. I really hope that someday soon, things will be able to go to whatever the new normal is. But we have months ahead of us still of trying to facilitate crew change and keep the system going. And we hear that those who have just been able to have crew change are actually also now looking forward to going back on board. It really will have an impact on seafaring from now on. Our stories that we have and the thoughts that we've done, the activities that have happened during this time, this very unprecedented time, will go down in history. And the work that has happened so much around the world to ensure that we can have this crew changing happening. It really is the hard work and that commitment, that personal sacrifice to support those who are working within V ships and the whole team of V ship working together. And that supports Globe, because shipping is the backbone. Shipping is the lifeblood of not only the economy, it transfers the medical equipment. It is what keeps us all moving and unable actually even to have this ability for communication. So thank you so much for your work, for your effort to keep seafarers safe and healthy and to facilitate crew change. It's my honor to provide you with a certificate of appreciation.
Thank you, Jillian and Nautical Institute. This appreciation is really something that will motivate all of us to keep going and ensure we carry out the good work. So, Captain Naveen, can I start off with the other part of the thing? Okay, thank you.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
So, greetings and good evening, everyone. First, I'd like to thank the Nautical Institute for arranging this event to facilitate V groups, V ships for their efforts in supporting our seafarers during this pandemic. This is truly a great initiative, and it is indeed an honor to be sharing the screen with all your distinguished guests. Unfortunately, we have to do this online. In better times, this would have been a different setting. So the crisis really picked up around mid-March, early this year, and when the COVID crisis had started taking a toll globally. And this directly affected crew changes with countries enforcing lockdown measures, and that included India. The situation that panned out thereafter was not something that the crewing community and seafarers have ever experienced in the past. Then, along with various industry bodies, governments and their efforts, there were some crew changes permitted in certain geographies with precautionary measures in place. Around early May, the activity of crew changes picked up with certain corridors being open, the use of chartered flights, which has been mentioned earlier by other speakers, to hubs like, countries, Doha and, Colombo, from India, where we managed to facilitate, crew changes. The situation globally with various countries is and was very dynamic, with rules and regulations changing frequently. However, the silver lining is that we adapted to these circumstances and effected these crew changes safely in order to relieve our seafarers, which was the only goal. We have gone to the extent of deviating vessels, delaying them at the cost of off-hiring the vessels, but the ultimate goal being crew change was achieved. The credit also goes largely to our clients, both internal and external, who stood by us and supported us in these tough times. In the India context, I would like to thank FOSMA and MASA for their untiring efforts in ensuring that they managed to voice the issues faced by the crewing industry locally, and through their representation managed to push the government bodies to clear the way for crew changes. A special thanks goes out to DG Shipping India for the fantastic effort and the level of cooperation that they exercised during this time, and ensured that they did everything in their control to clear the way for crew changes. And the list is long of those who facilitated this operation, and I would like to thank them all. The issue of lack of flights out of India was filled in by chartered flight arrangements by FOSMA, MASA and a few other companies which purely have done this in the interest of getting seafarers back home and ensure employment for those at home. While we have completed all major crew changes and in a comfortable position currently, we have some more ground to cover, and we are confident that with the help of our committed crewing teams and seafarers, we will soon overcome those challenges. So, just to give you a little perspective of the global V group crew changes, you would see that we have carried out over 35,000 plus crew movements till date, and the stats are on the slide for you to see. V Group, by the virtue of having a large footprint globally, we were in a position to quickly deploy relievers from various nationalities and manage crew changes amidst the restrictions we faced. The total Indian numbers, of course, that you see on the slide are from various segments that we manage, that is cargo, offshore and leisure. And that's a real great achievement. Now that I look at the figures, and these are current figures, it's really very enriching to realize that we've in these tough times we managed these numbers. Amit, can you move to the next slide, please? So a few on the success stories. We were amongst the first few companies to carry out the crew change at Singapore successfully, where we managed to a 21 off and a 19 on, and this is thanks to our collaboration across the V group. Also, during the early period of the lockdown, our first tryst with a chartered flight was from St. Petersburg to Amsterdam, where we moved 5 seafarers in and out, and that was to a great satisfaction of the seafarers and their family. Then I just share. I know Captain Charles has spoken about the Djibouti crew change project. It was a massive, operation. It was under trying, difficult times, but I must say that in the end, it gave us a lot of, satisfaction. I'd like to give a little bit of brief. This is a little bit more than what probably Captain Charles would have given on the background. So at the time when we planned this, their vessels were, held up at Hodeida, the UN anchorage, where there was no, there was no idea about their berthing prospects, and with crew largely overdue. So that's when we mooted this idea of chartering a flight into, Djibouti and getting the crew on-off. But however, at that time, Djibouti was under lockdown, and we had to coordinate with the Indian Embassy in Djibouti, the Ministry of External Affairs in India, the Djibouti Ports and Free Zone Authority to obtain permissions to carry out this crew change. And we were at that time one of the first flights into Djibouti during the lockdown, and practically we put some airport staff back to work after a long time. However, the plan was good, and I would say executed to clinical perfection, and most important, much to the satisfaction of all involved, and above all the seafarers who were largely overdue and with no crew change in sight. We, of course, besides the Djibouti project, thereafter we've carried quite a few large crew movements in close partnership with a couple of industry players to locations in West Africa like Togo, Lome, some in Indonesia, and all have been successful with these with these change operations. We have achieved, of course, results purely due to the hard work and efforts of an excellent team. Could you enter in again? Yeah, I'm sorry, that's the Zoom time limit that I was cut off. So, can you hear me now? Captain Tandon, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, please continue, sir.
Okay. Okay. So,
We can't hear you.
and I would big thank. Can you hear me now, Captain? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So
yes.
a big thank you goes out to industry bodies such as FOSMA, MASA, government bodies like the DG Shipping India to facilitate all these crew changes. A big thank you to the seafarers and the families on behalf of the entire group. We would like to thank families of our seafarers without whose patience during such unprecedented times helped us in concentrating all our efforts in finding the solution to the crew change issues. We thank our seafarers for their cooperation, as without which it would have been next to impossible to sail through such tough times. The job is not complete, and we are now progressing quickly in this aspect, hopeful of all overdue crew change issues soon. we expect seafarers to be, on board with us and have the confidence with us. I'd like to thank also our media partners in India and abroad for being the voice of our seafarers as well as the companies. Without your support, it would be impossible for us to raise our concern to all government authorities and also highlighting the plight of our seafarers. And last but not the least, the Nautical Institute for organizing such an event to raise bodies and helping us to represent our voice better and to take up the challenges of crew relief to the current crisis and restrictions placed by various governments. I would say such events held by a premier body such as the NI are a good shot to boost the morale of our crewing colleagues and such appreciation will go along with the efforts of all parties. We will overcome this crisis soon. And I would like to end by saying stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes, as you rightly said, it's a massive operation, the crew sign off with so much of restrictions in place. And I think having done that over the last few months is really commendable. And V ships or V group as such, very soon you'll be touching 100 years as a group. I mean, and to lead such a group, I think it's no mean task. So congratulations to V ships, to you and to your team, sir. Thank you once again. Yes, we are coming to the all good things have come to an end. We are coming to the end of the event. I would say South Atlantic, Rotterdam, Antwerp, North Atlantic, Rio de Janeiro, South Atlantic, Santos, Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, back again. I just read the locations from where my good friend had joined our event over the last 2 months. And today he's joining yet again from on board ship Rio de Janeiro. I invite Captain Sony John, a member of the Nautical Institute India Southwest Branch, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Captain Vinod Naveen, for the lovely introduction. Most respected V-Ships team, respected dignitaries, and distinguished guests. Yes, I have been participating in this series of appreciation events conducted by my home branch, Nautical Institute, India Southwest, right from the sea on board. Now, I am sailing on an MSC container ship trading between North Europe and South America East Coast, and now loading cargo in the port of Brazil. Thanks to the changing times and advancing technologies and good internet on board, that gives a lot of mental peace and tranquility. Let me get on to my responsibility. First of all, I would like to wholeheartedly congratulate and thank Captain Venkatesh Gomadam, Operations Director, V-Ships India Private Limited, for being with us today and accepting this certificate of appreciation. Now, I wholeheartedly thank Captain Rajesh Tandon, Global Director, Industrial Relations, V Group Manpower Services, and Mr. Manukamuthasamy, Managing Director, V-Ships Ship Management India Private Limited. It's my pleasure to thank Captain Sanjay Maini, Country Head, IRI Maritime and Corporate Services Private Limited, Mr. Uday Purohit, President, IMEI, Captain Anand, Officer Assessment Superintendent, V-Ships India Private Limited, and Captain Charles Isaac, Sailing Master, V-Ships. Now, I would like to wholeheartedly thank Ms. Jillian Carson Jackson, FNI, President, Nautical Institute, London, and Captain Nick Nash, FNI, Past President, Nautical Institute, Headquarters, London, and our present President, Nautical Institute Southwest Branch, Captain Tom Joseph, and Captain Joseph Alapat, FNI, Vice President, Nautical Institute, India Southwest Branch. Now, I need to thank Dr. K.S. Simon, President, Marine Society, Cochin, Captain Mahesh Yadav, Captain Duncan McKelvey, Captain M.B. Bazin, MD, MSc India, and Captain Sanjay Bhavnani. Also, I would like to thank the media, Bhandarkar Publications, Sailors Today, and other maritime Marex and other media who are associated with this event and promulgating this event. Thank you very much. Also, I would like to thank Newsy. I can see Mr. Abdul Ghani Sarang here. So, and MUI, thank you all the institutions for being with us. Now, I would like to thank my fellow comrades at Nautical Institute India Southwest, Captain Joskuti Thomas, past President, Nautical Institute India Southwest, and Captain Vinod Naveen, Secretary, Nautical Institute India Southwest, for being at the helm of these affairs and conducting this series of events. Finally, I would like to thank each and everyone who participated in this event for being with us and for this fine evening. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Captain Soni. That was nice of you to connect from the ship yet again and deliver the vote of thanks. And as you rightly said, internet and technology has helped us, with mental peace, as you rightly used. Thank you once again. Jillian, I'm just, we come to the end of the event, but I'm just going to make one small share screen. As I share screen, I would, there is a man of two words, Mr. Abdul Ghani Sarang. Mr. Abdul Ghani, if you would like to just say two words by the time I share the screen.
ये तो प्रॉब्लम है, 2 वर्ड बहुत कम होता है. But it is a pleasure for me and honor for me to be here, and especially when V-Shift is getting felicitated, and the whole team of V-Shift, we have been doing business with them for so many years, I should say decades, and it has been a very fruitful association with V-Shift, particularly for the benefit of the seafarers whom we all proudly represent, and also the shipping fraternity. All the best to V-Shift and the team of V-Shift. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Jillian, can you see my screen?
Yes, we see your screen fine.
Okay, so we have been so very fortunate at the Nautical Institute Southwest Branch. Every good thing has to come to an end. Our campaign of certificate of appreciation is coming to an end, but what a fitting end to our certificate of appreciation. We have the man that you see on the screen, the IMO Secretary General, joining us, Mr. Kita Klim, joining us next week on 5th October, Monday at 15:30 India time. So I take this opportunity to invite all of you for that concluding event of the certificate of appreciation with the IMO Secretary General coming on live and talking to us on that event. Thank you so much to all of you. The last thing that we have on our event is a photograph. So I would request all of you to come on your cameras, turn on your cameras. You can unmute yourself. Jillian, if you would let everybody to unmute. And
everyone
you can,
should be able to unmute now.
Yes. So you can unmute, you can offer your compliments to V-Ships and the recipients of the award, and please turn on your camera so that we can take some pictures.
Thank you, Vinod. Lovely event, well organized. And I think we lived up to our commitment of keeping the time so that Jillian can go back and have a dinner quickly.
Thank you. Just to let everybody know, I'm going to stop the live broadcast on Facebook right now.
Vinod, I would like to say just 2 lines here. I'm Captain Shaukat Mukherjee, and I was a part of V Group for 10 years, and I just moved on last year. And it's so great to see all the stalwarts here, and I think I'm still a part of this family. And so I would like to congratulate my former colleagues, Captain Tandon, of course, is like a lighthouse. He's based ashore, but his light goes deep into the sea.
Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Captain
Bye for
Venkatesh,
now.
I've worked with you personally, and
Thanks for
thanks
watching.
all
See
the
you next
support.
time. Bye
And
for
the
now.
whole V Group team here, Manikandan, and all of you that you are here. Congratulations, and